answered, Madam, wife of Odysseus, since you persist in asking me about my family, I will answer, no matter what it costs me. People must expect to be hanged when they have been exiles as long as I have, and suffered as much among as many peoples. Nevertheless, as regards your question, I will tell you all you ask. There is a fair and fruitful island in mid-ocean called Crete. It is thickly peopled, and there are 90 cities in it. The people speak many different languages which overlap one another. For there are Phrygians, brave Tocretians, Dorians, and the threefold race, and noble Pelasagi. There is a great town there, Gnosus, where Minos reigned, who every 9 years had a conference with Zeus himself. Minos was father to Deucalion, whose son I am, for Deucalion had two sons, Idomeneus and myself. Idomeneus sailed for Troy, and I, who am the younger, employed Aethon. My brother, however, was at once the older and the more valiant of the two. Hence it was in Crete that I sought Odysseus and showed him hospitality for the winds, took him there as he was on the way to Troy, carrying out of his course from Cape Malea, and leaving him in Amnisus, off the cave of Ilithyia, where the harbors are difficult to enter, and he could hardly find shelter from the winds that were then raging. As soon as he got there, he went into the town and asked for Idomeneus, claiming to be his old and valued friend. But Idomeneus had already set sail for Troy some 10 or 12 days earlier, so I took him to my own house and showed him every kind of hospitality, for I had abundance of everything. Moreover, I fed the men who were with him with barley meal from the public store, and got subscriptions of wine and oxen for them to sacrifice to their heart's content. They stayed with me 12 days, for there was a gale blowing from the north so strong that one could hardly keep one's feet on land. I suppose some unfriendly god had raised it for them, but on the 13th day the wind dropped, and they got away. Many a plausible tale did Odysseus further tell her, and Penelope wept as she listened, for her heart was melted, as the snow waste upon the mountain tops when the winds from the southeast and west had breathed upon it, and thawed it till the rivers were in bank full of water. Even so did her cheeks overflow with tears for the husband who was all the time sitting by her side. Odysseus felt for her and was sorry for her, but he kept his eyes as hard as horn or iron, without letting them so much as quiver, so cunningly did he restrain his tears. Then when she had relieved herself by weeping, she turned to him again and said, Now, stranger, I shall put you to the test and see whether or no you really did entertain my husband and his men, as you say you did. Tell me then how he was dressed, what kind of man he was to look at, and also with his companions. Madam, answered Odysseus, it is such a long time ago that I can hardly say. 20 years are come and gone since he left my home, and went elsewhither. But I will tell you, as well as I can recollect, Odysseus wore a mantle of purple wool, double-lined, and was fastened by a gold brooch, with two catches for the pin. On the face of this there was a device that showed a dog holding a spotted fawn between his forepaws, and watching it as it lay panting upon the ground. Everyone marveled at the way in which these things had been done in gold, the dog looking at the fawn and strangling it, while the fawn was struggling convulsively to escape. But as for the shirt that he wore next his skin, it was so soft that it fitted him like the skin of an onion, glistened in the sunlight to the admiration of all women who beheld it. Furthermore, I say, and lay my saying to your heart, that I do not know whether Odysseus wore these clothes when he left home, or whether one of his companions had given them to him while he was on his voyage, or possibly someone at whose house he was staying made him a present of them, for he was a man of many friends, and had few equals among the Athenians. I myself gave him a sword of bronze, and a beautiful purple mantle double-lined, with a shirt that went down to his feet, and I sent him on board his ship with every mark of honor. He had a servant with him, a little older than himself, and I can tell you what he was like. His shoulders were hunched, he was dark, and he had thick curly hair. His name is Eurybates, and Odysseus treated him with greater familiarity than he did any of the others, as being the most like-minded with himself. Penelope was moved still more deeply as she heard indisputable proofs that Odysseus laid before her, and when she had again found relief in tears, she said to him, Stranger, I was already disposed to pity you, and henceforth you shall be honored and made welcome in my house. It was I who gave Odysseus the clothes you speak of. I took them out of the storeroom and folded them up myself, and I gave him also the gold brooch to wear as an ornament. Alas, I shall never welcome him home again. It was by an ill fate that he ever set out for that detested city, whose very name I cannot bring myself even to mention. Then Odysseus answered, Madam, wife of Odysseus, do not disfigure yourself further by grieving thus bitterly for your loss, so I can hardly blame you for doing so. A woman who has loved her husband and borne him children would naturally be grieved at losing him, even though he was a worse man than Odysseus. For when they say it was like a god, still cease your tears and listen to what I can tell you. I will hide nothing from you, and can say with perfect truth that I have lately heard of Odysseus has been alive and on his way home. He is among the Thesprotians, and is bringing back much valuable treasure that he has begged from one and another of them. But this ship and all his crew were lost as they were leaving the Thrinacian island, for Zeus, the sun god, were angry with him, because his men had slaughtered the sun god's cattle, and they were all drowned to a man. But Odysseus stuck his head at the keel of the ship and was drifted onto the line of the Phoenicians, who are near of kin to the immortals, who treated him as though he had been a god, giving him many presents and wishing to escort him home safe and sound. In fact, Odysseus would have been here long ago, had he not thought better to go from land to land gathering wealth, for there is no man living who is so wily as he is. There is no one can compare with him. Phaedon, king of the Thesprotians, told him all this, and he swore to me, making drink offerings in his house as he did so that the ship was by the waterside, and the crew found who would take Odysseus to his own country. He sent me off first, for there happened to be a Thesprotian ship sailing for the wheat-growing island of Delicium. But he showed me all the treasure Odysseus had got together, and he had enough lying in the house of King Phaedon to keep his family for 10 generations. The king said Odysseus had gone to Dodona, and that he might learn Zeus's mind from the high oak tree, know whether, after so long as an absence, he should return to Ithaca openly or in secret, so you may know he is safe and will be here shortly. He is close at hand and cannot remain away from home much longer. Furthermore, I will confirm my words with an oath and call Zeus, who is the first and mightiest of all the gods, to witness, as also that heart of Odysseus, to which I have now come, that all I have spoken shall surely come to pass. Odysseus will return in the selfsame year, with the end of this moon and beginning of the next. He will be here. May it be even so, answered Penelope. If your words come true, you shall have such gifts and such goodwill from me that all you see shall congratulate you. But I know very well how it will be. Odysseus will not return, neither will you get your escort hence. For so surely as that Odysseus ever was, there are now no longer any such masters in the house as he was, to receive honorable strangers, or to further them on their way home. And now you maids wash his feet for him, and make him a bed on a couch, with rugs and blankets, that he may be warm and quiet till morning. Then at daybreak wash him and anoint him again, that he may sit in the cloister and take his meals with Telemachus. His shall be the worse for any of those hateful people who is uncivil to him. Like it or not, he shall have no more to do in this house. For how, sir, shall you be able to learn whether or no I am superior to others of my sex, both in goodness of heart and understanding? If I let you dine in my cloisters, squalid and ill-clad men live but for a little season, if they are hard and deal hardly. People wish them ill so long as they are alive, and speak contemptuously